Friday. We love that when we go out and we see guys flash in training camp, when the fans get to see the same thing in the game. Yeah. That it wasn't like some sort of a camp mirage. I don't know how good Caden Davis is going to be. He has himself one hell of a story. Playing spring football here too. He made the only practice that I saw, he made the catch of camp. In the quarter of the end zone, there were only about a handful of plays with the first team and with Caleb, and he made a sensational catch in that practice. And anyone who's covered or has been to a Bears practice, you've noticed Caden Davis. And you say to yourself, okay, is this just a mirage? And then sure enough, the game rolls around, and one of the great stories of camp flashes during the game.
Yeah, he's a good football player. I mean, it's going to be a tough lineup to crack in terms of just making this roster because the wide receiving room is so talented and so deep, but he's a good football player. All you can ask of your guys is when you give them the opportunity that they deliver, and that's what he did. So, like, tip of the cap to him. I thought he did himself a lot of good by the performance that he had. I thought Logan Jones had a little bit of a rough start, but then over the course of the entire game, Charlie and I were talking, and I thought that he really, by the end of the day, played well. I mean, it looked like I don't know how you described it, Charlie, but he just needed to get kind of like his sea legs underneath him, and he needed to kind of just get that first series of NFL contact under his belt, and then I thought he was pretty good. Look, to me, there were two things that stood out. And the first thing on the other side of the equation was I don't think you solved any of your left tackle issues. And not that you were going to do that in the first preseason game, but this is an opportunity for one of these guys to reach out and grab a hold of this opportunity. I know that Braxton Jones wasn't available, but I thought Amagaji got beat on the first third down. He got beat inside. He had a guy lined out way wide. I don't know if you call that a 9 technique or whatever they call it. He's already outside. The last thing just keep him out there. But he got beat on the inside. I thought the more he played, the less impressive he was. I didn't think it was a good day for him. You can see some of the traits that Jedrick Wills has while you go, wow, that's really interesting. But then he gets beat. And so much so I think that the sack he gave up forced them to put Amagaji back in at one point. So, yeah, I don't think that anybody took this opportunity and ran with it at the left tackle. I don't know that the Aussie Trapillo being activated
off of pop.
Listen, I don't think they're going to rush him at all. But I don't think Ben does anything for no reason. Like maybe this is, hey, listen, he's not ready yet, but get your asses in line and start playing more consistent and compete out there. Or when he is ready, he's getting the job.
So they know he's going to be ready to go soon, but you think Ben, after the two left tackles weren't great, said, look, even if he doesn't practice this week and he starts working next week, let's activate him. Let's send a message.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you think so? Is that what you're saying?
I think first and foremost, there are roster issues, so you have to make sure, you want to get him off of PUP. You want to get him. Ryan Poles said it. He said, look, there's a chance that Ozzie could come back and get a little bit of work in training camp. You don't want to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in the regular season. And I think he's a long way away from being ready to go. I don't know. I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think they do anything for without a purpose. I think they like to light fires under people. And I think they want to get Ozzie some work because he's ahead of schedule. And a tip of the cap to Aussie Trapillo for doing what he needed to do to get to where he's at. Tip of the cap to their sports science group. Everyone involved with getting Ozzie to where he is right now deserves all the credit in the world.
I just hope, and like we always say this, like if you're cleared, you're cleared. Yeah. We understand that. It's a very significant injury, especially for offensive linemen. He's come back faster than any of them, and I hope this is one of those stories. I just hope he's not,
I don't think
how
there's any
healthy,
panic.
while he's, quote, cleared, how healthy can he play?
Yeah, I don't. Again, let me make this clear. I don't think they're rushing to get him back. I think that they're pleasantly surprised, but they're thrilled that he is where he is. I mean, you told me I didn't hear how Ben talked about the left tackle.
Yeah, you want to hear this? I thought,
it was not good.
Like this is what look. if Ben doesn't win games, none of the sound bites matter, or like we want answers. But we always say this. It just checks all. It's just another fun box to have checked when you have a coach that's transparent, when you have a coach that tells you something. We want a coach who's good at his job first. Yeah. He commands the room. He develops his guys. This guy is the offensive coordinator too. So it's a 2-for-1, and we know he can do all that. But like we've always said, the honesty in that building these days, they'll tell you stuff if you're listening. I thought like the way they have messaged the Kyler Gordon thing, without saying a lot, they have told you all you need to know, that there's some bad, whatever's going on, it's not great. And I'll play that in a minute. But this is the left tackle spot. Now, listen to what he says at the beginning, how he first goes into the coach speak. I got to look at it from the film, got to look at it from behind. Sure. But then how he goes on to say nothing good about either guy. Like, not one thing that was good here about either guy. And you just broke it down very well. Here's Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I think that's a hard one for me to assess right now. Sometimes that trench play, you gotta go ahead and take a look at the lens from behind and really be able to take a look at it. But as a whole, I would say offensive line, I felt like our quarterback got hit more than I would like. Tyson certainly did in the first half, and second half we still felt some pressures there on Case and Miller. So we'll look at why that was the case, and then running game wise was a little bit spotty as well. So different style of defense certainly attributes to that. Their front is coming off the ball, and they make it very difficult for one-on-one blocks. You got to be very specific with your angles and all that, and so there's a back and forth there in the running game as well. So hard to say a whole lot about left tackle quite yet.
So, like, maybe
I sent you guys some clips. I mean, none of us, we're a bunch of slappies, but none of us are offensive line specialists. What did you guys notice from the clips I sent you? There's really poor technique, which in a lot of instances can be tied to, for whatever reason, your compete just has to be sharper. Like I showed you guys a clip where the sack that Jedrick Wills gave up, right? When his lineup, he was standing straight up. And when the ball was snapped, there was nothing he could do to get himself in position to block the guy that was rushing the quarterback, because his stance from the very jump, he just looked like he was standing there like a pedestrian. Like, it looked like he wasn't ready for the play to even be snapped.
You're talking about the Wills play?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that was you alluded to it earlier. And I asked you, I go, can you please look at that for me?
Yeah.
Because it was finally the time when Bagent was starting to move the offense. I think they'd picked up a few first downs, and I believe they moved into like, not the red zone, but field goal range. They were within field goal range already. And then on that play, I think it was first down too, wasn't it?
I think so.
And on first down, he gets sacked and loses a ton of yards in that play. And like you said, then in the very next possession, I don't know if this was the plan. What I heard Ben say the plan is they would rotate quarters.
Yeah.
So therefore, Amagaji started the game. Wills would play the second quarter. Yeah. As soon as they went into 2 minute. Now, maybe in 2 minute would have been different that Amagaji was playing anyway. Wills was benched, and Amagaji came in the second quarter to play the 2 minute. So
I thought the longer Karan was out there, quite frankly, and I don't, again, it's one preseason game, so don't, just put it all into perspective. I thought the longer he was out there, the worse he got.
That's not good. That's
I mean, and I would love for someone to look at it and tell me that I'm way off on this, but like, again, I said from the very beginning, and Tom Thayer has said as much to us as well, and he knows 1,000 times more about this than I do. Jedrick Wills has got a skill set that is really impressive, but you got to put it all together. My money's still on Braxton Jones to be their starting left tackle. Like, there was nothing I saw, again, against Cleveland Browns in the first preseason game. You're going to learn more about both of these guys. We may come out of the joint practice with the Bengals, and Courtney or whoever's down there covering the team may say these guys were outstanding. All I can go by is what I saw, from Saturday's game. We'll learn more about those guys when they get into it with the Cincinnati Bengals, but there's nothing that I saw in that game that led me to believe that either one of them is a better option than Braxton Jones.
Yeah, and like Ben said in that bite, he goes, too much pressure. Like, he wasn't specifically talking about left tackle. The question was about left tackle. Too much pressure in the pass game. the entire game.
Yeah.
And in the run game, the blocking left a lot to be desired
and
as well.
people may say, well, it's one. It is, but these are all defining moments for these guys as everyone's battling for the same job. The other thing I would tell you is I give Dio all the credit in the world for coming back from a really bad injury, and Achilles obviously is nothing to sneeze at in terms of trying to get back. He looks like the same guy to me. So, like, I went into this game looking at the trenches, really impressed with a lot of their rotational pieces on the interior of their defensive line. I think they can be a much better team against the run with some of these guys. But some of the guys that have been here a while kind of look like who they've been since they've been here. Yeah. So, like, again, it's
one preseason game. Yes, we preface everything with
absolutely. But you ask me what I see, and then I can point out other things that looked very good. As I said, I thought Logan Jones found his way as the game went on. He looked impressive. He knew where he was supposed to be at a lot of points. I think what you saw overall, too, is this team, and again, the Browns are not a good team. There's a new staff. They're trying to really pick themselves off the map. But you can see how this Bears team, the depth of the roster is better than it has been, and they're very well coached. Hence the reason why you see them hang 34 on somebody.
Yeah, because they know the system now.
They're deeper, and they're very well coached.
It was funny. I was mentioning to the guys in the booth, like at the beginning of what was Poles' first year? Was it 22? I always forget. 22, 3, 4, 5. This is his fifth year, yeah. So 22. Do you remember the wide receiving core that the Bears had in Justin's first year under Poles when they made the transition from Pace to Poles?
Pringle was part of that, wasn't
it? It was, and like I don't think any of these guys are in the league anymore.
Didn't half the room get arrested too?
Who were the arrested guys? I forget.
I just remember that offseason there we got a lot of notifications about guys getting arrested.
Pringle had a car thing, I remember.
Did he have a car thing?
Yeah, it was a driving thing.
So Byron Pringle was on that. Pettis, right? Remember, was it Dante Pettis? I don't know where he is these days.
Darnell Mooney.
Equiminius
St. Brown.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool.
Yeah, who stinks and is out of the league.
N'Keal Harry.
Here's what I'll say. I believe the Bears' backup wide receivers who played in this game are better than the Bears' starting wide receivers in 2022.
It's a fair bet.
We with Caden Davis, with what's his name, who didn't play a lot out of
Jade Walker.
Scotty Miller, Caden Davis, Maurice Alexander. A lot of these guys can play. A lot of these guys, when the Bears do release them, will get picked up by another team. I believe in this team developing them. This is the essence of coaching. Yeah. These are guys who have been role guys in their career, but when you mold the coaching with the player and you get the best out of the player, now all of a sudden you're dealing with better players. I believe the Bears' second string wide receiving core, the backups, are better than the starting rotation in 2022.
I think
you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Like I remember days when Devin Aroma-Shadu was people thought he could be something and he wasn't. But we were grasping at straws because we were so desperate for good wide receivers. Now we've got great wide receivers, and the guys behind them are pretty good too. So that's a positive to take away.
Didn't the Bears hang some pretty big preseason numbers on teams last year as well? Am I right about that?
Believe you're right.
And again, I think what you take from it, it's symbolic of a team that is. You know how in baseball you talk about you have a how do you describe it like a batting order that it's long, it's deep, it's that's kind of
it's
the
lengthy,
roster.
It's lengthy. Long, yeah, right.
So
it's a lengthy lineup.
It's kind of like their overall depth and talent on their roster has improved.
Yes.
And they're very well coached on a lot of fronts. And that's kind of why you can hang 34 on a team, and albeit a bad team that's in complete rebuild mode. But, yeah, you can learn a lot from stuff that you see on a preseason game. I'm more interested to see how they come out of Cincinnati in the joint practices than any of the preseason games. But like I said, these are all defining moments.
Yeah.
When you have a position that's up for grabs, we don't have a starter. It's Braxton Jones. But one of you guys, if you get out there and show me, did you see some of their grades? And again, it's just one analytic tool. It was it was really bad. I mean, it was really sick. Like, I don't know the PFF. Charlie, you probably follow this. Where are some of the grades for even preseason games come from? I saw a lot of stuff.
Oh, you're talking about the way they graded the Bears in the first?
Yeah, like the offensive tackles. Yeah, it was.
So they did not have good grades.
No,
so our eyes were confirmed.
So whatever my eyes told me, where it was kind of, I kind of know what I'm looking. I don't know exactly. But.
When Jedrick Wills is just getting like shoved back repeatedly, like you don't need to be like an O-line expert to think like, yeah, that guy might not have it, you know? Like you know it when you see it when an offensive lineman is playing really poorly.
I guess, to kind of summarize it, the moral of the story was nothing was truly earned or learned at the left tackle spot after one preseason.
Like maybe it's what you said. Maybe the plan is Braxton Jones until he deems himself not capable or Ozzie's ready. And maybe you like cut Amagaji, like you didn't like what you saw, and you use Jedrick Wills as a guy who's got too much talent to let go at this point.
Could be.
And you hope a year with Rochar could bring the best out of him eventually. And that's the way they go with your tackles.
I want to see guys that like are fighting for a position, and in some cases roster spots. I want to see them compete their asses off.
Yeah, right.
That's what you want.
Like the rookie defensive tackle,
Vandenberg.
Like you liked what you saw, and even there are a couple plays where he got pushed a little bit, but he's competing his ass off, and he doesn't stop.
In his body of work, there was more good than there was bad. But yes, even when he gets like driven into the ground by veteran guards and tackles or center on one play, he comes back the next play and is competing his ass off. And I think especially, A, it's what you have to do in this league. B, it's what you have to do inside their building, because that coaching staff doesn't suffer a lack of competing lightly.
Yeah.
Like if you're battling your ass off, they'll give you a chance. If you're not out there battling your ass off, I think this group will discard you sooner rather than later. So
are we able, I know you do the film study on our YouTube usually. Yeah. Are we able to take your clips and put it on our YouTube page today and refer to them and break it down? Were you R-rated with your language? How are you?
So just kind of put it on mute. I mean, there are a couple of them that
so people could see.
Yeah. I mean, I can do that with definitely going forward for sure. I mean, there's other things like I just sent you guys stuff that, look, the left tackle position right now is highlighted, is it not? I mean, the pass rush is highlighted. I think it is. So I think, as I told you guys, going into this game and going into this camp and going into Cincinnati this week, what happens in the trenches is most important to me. And I will tell you that the rotation on the inside of the defensive line looks a whole lot better, and I like these guys. I thought Dio probably still trying to come back from that injury. Looked a lot like he did last year before the injury. I hope there's better days ahead from him, and no problem was solved at left tackle. That's what I kind of took from yesterday or Saturday's game more than anything.
All right, we do have some news, too, to pass along. Jesse just called the show, and he said the MRI, like they wanted to get the MRI and Dansby to confirm this oblique strain and see what type of oblique strain it was. They're calling it a grade 2 strain, and they estimate that Dansby will miss 4 to 6 weeks, which like any oblique in baseball is usually a month. So I was thinking, look, if you get him back a little bit before the postseason, and he could just sort of get this tune-up. Like if it's a month, we're talking about mid-September. If it's 5 weeks, you got a couple weeks left in the season and get sharp a little bit. It's definitely a loss. When Dansby was struggling, I wanted him benched, but when he's not like awful offensively, he is a huge piece. Like you said, lengthens their lineup, batting ninth. He continues to hit with power like he always has, and his glove is incredible. So, like, you need him back for the postseason. It's one of the Cubs' superpowers is their defense all the way around.
Yes. He's one of the pitching staffs, and I'm not talking just their starters, but their relief pitchers, too. He's one of their best friends. Has to be, because he is so silky smooth with a glove.
All right, the injury report is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. It's not the size of the wreck that matters. It's the size of the check. All right, so, and speaking of injuries, what's going on with Kyler Gordon? Another cryptic answer from Ben Johnson over the weekend, the way he described some injuries. I want to play that for you. I don't know this. I think it's trending the way they're talking to us. If I've learned anything about this coaching staff, like Caleb probably won't play in the preseason at all. That has been an option that he has said, yeah, that could happen. How do Bears fans feel about that? If Caleb Williams won't even play one preseason snap, are you good with that? Are you not? Are you just like, whether I'm good or not, it's Ben I trust, so I just will trust him.
You better get out there or Case Keenum's going to take his job.
Right. I heard Jack bring something up today about the quarterbacks after one game. We'll talk about that. So, Bears fans, what'd you see? What'd you like? What didn't you like? Do you want Caleb to play? 312-332-3776. Cubs and Sox fans, how excited are you for tonight? I can't wait. Waddle said to me, he goes, I can't wait till first pitch tonight at Wrigley.
Yeah.
He's not a Cubs nor Sox fan, but this is going to be outstanding. I think the atmosphere, as always, for Cubs Sox, but now we got meaning. We got meaning behind this thing. What a weekend for the White Sox. The Cubs did not have such a good weekend, but for the majority of this last month, they've been playing good baseball. Len Casper's going to join us from Wrigley Field. We've got Louis Riddick to break down the Bears. He needs to do a victory lap over a player that he told us would be great as well. Anything you want to discuss, ring it up, 332-3776. It's Waddle and Sylvie.